He saw her kneeling, cleaning spilled champagne from the marble floor, and he made the worst mistake of his life. Alexander Sterling, a heartbroken billionaire, assumed the young cleaner was just another woman available to entertain rich men. But Rebecca was not just any woman. And what happened that night, in one of New York's most luxurious hotels, would begin an unexpected journey of humiliation, redemption, and a love that neither of them could have ever predicted. Get ready, because this story will touch your heart. Rebecca Silva, 23 years old, felt invisible, and that was exactly the point. In her beige uniform, nearly the same color as the walls, she moved like a shadow through the opulent ballroom of the Hotel Unique. Around her, the New York elite celebrated. Men in $1,000 suits, women with jewelry that could pay for Rebecca's entire college education. She was there, in the same room, but a universe away, discreetly cleaning up the small messes that their world left behind. That's when a nervous waiter stumbled, spilling an entire tray of champagne. While the guests looked on with disdain, Rebecca acted. Without a second thought, she knelt and with quick, efficient movements began to clean up the mess, gathering the shards of crystal. It was at that exact moment that Alexander Sterling, 40 years old, owner of G-Tech, one of the largest tech companies in the country, saw her for the first time. His heart was closed off, poisoned by his wife's betrayal with his best friend and business partner. To him, the world was a game of interests, and women were pieces in that game. The event's host, noticing his gaze, whispered with a sly smile, "Ah, Alexander, always observant. She must be one of the special guests for the after-party. An interesting strategy, isn't it? Disguising her as a cleaner." The explanation made a terrible kind of sense to the cynical and distrustful Alexander. He approached Rebecca, who was still kneeling, focused on her work. "You don't have to pretend with me anymore," he said in a low voice, his tone a mix of arrogance and veiled curiosity. "I know why you're really here." Rebecca lifted her face. Her brown eyes, pure and full of dreams, met his. The realization of what he was implying hit her like a slap. Shame and indignation burned on her face. "Sir," she said, her voice trembling with humiliation, "I'm a cleaner. I work to pay for my college. I don't know what you're talking about." She stood up with all the dignity she could muster and walked away, leaving Alexander with the unsettling feeling that he had terribly misjudged the young woman. That night, Alexander couldn't sleep. The image of Rebecca's wounded eyes haunted him. Driven by an impulse he hadn't felt in years, he used his resources to find out everything about her. The next day, her story was in his hands. A life of struggle, hard work, the dream of graduating with a business degree, and the pain of losing her father. There was nothing there but dignity and effort. Overcome with guilt, he did something he never did. He canceled his schedule and drove his Porsche to the outskirts of the city, parking a block away from her mother's small beauty salon. From a distance, he watched her, working, laughing with customers, with the same grace and determination she had shown the night before. And he knew he had to fix his mistake. The next day, he walked into the Glimmer of Hope salon. Rebecca froze when she saw him. The last thing she wanted was to relive that humiliation. "I came to apologize," he said, his voice devoid of its usual arrogance. "What I said yesterday was unforgivable. I was cynical, prejudiced, and unfair." He explained the misunderstanding, the host's venomous suggestion, the world of distrust he lived in. Rebecca listened in silence, still hurt, but beginning to see a different man behind the billionaire's facade. "I don't want your charity," she said, when he offered to pay for her college. "It's not charity, it's an opportunity, an internship at my company. You'll work, be evaluated on your merit, and as part of the program, you'll receive a scholarship. I want you to prove to everyone, and to me, how wrong we were about you." The proposal was a golden opportunity, the realization of a dream. After talking with her mother, who advised her to follow her heart but never at the cost of her dignity, Rebecca accepted. "But on one condition," she said over the phone, "I will be treated like any other intern
and our relationship is strictly professional." "Deal," Alexander responded, admiring her strength. Rebecca was about to enter Alexander's world, a universe of luxury, power, and intrigue. But what seemed like a career opportunity would soon turn into an emotional battlefield. Keep watching to find out how the billionaire's frozen heart began to melt and how a new rival emerged to compete for Rebecca's attention. At G-Tech, Rebecca was assigned to the Forgotten Social Projects department. She dove into her work, reviving incredible projects that had been shelved. Her talent and dedication did not go unnoticed. Alexander watched her from a distance, keeping his promise, but growing more and more fascinated by her intelligence and integrity. Their professional relationship deepened. Work lunches turned into conversations about life. He about his painful divorce and the loneliness at the top. She about the struggle in the inner city and the dreams that drove her. Mutual respect blossomed, and with it, a feeling they both tried to deny. The situation became complicated with the arrival of Andre, a new analyst. Coming from the same reality as Rebecca, they developed an instant friendship, laughing at jokes only they understood. Alexander, the man who commanded an empire, felt something he didn't know: jealousy. He saw how easily Andre and Rebecca connected and feared the chasm between their worlds was too great. The rumors at the company spread like wildfire. "She's already traded the boss for the new guy," some said. "I knew she was a gold digger," others whispered. Rebecca, though hurt, refused to let the gossip bring her down. The climax came at the company's end-of-year party at the same hotel where it all began. This time, Rebecca wasn't the invisible cleaner, but a respected executive. Alexander, unable to contain himself, asked her to dance. On the dance floor, amidst the curious stares, he confessed what he felt. "I can't deny it anymore, Rebecca. I'm falling in love with you. You've broken down all my defenses." Fear and desire waged a war in Rebecca's heart. "We can't, Alexander. We're from different worlds. Everyone will say I only got my position because of you." "Since when do you care what other people say?" he replied, his voice intense. "The Rebecca I know has never backed down from a challenge." The moment was broken when Andre saw them, the undeniable intimacy between them. The news would spread. The next morning, Alexander took drastic action. He called a board meeting and publicly announced his relationship with Rebecca, restructuring the company so she would no longer report to him, but to the board, ensuring her professional independence. It was a declaration of war against prejudice and a testament to his commitment. Andre, for his part, approached Rebecca, and with maturity confessed he had been interested in her but respected her choice and wanted to remain friends. That gesture solidified the respect Rebecca felt for him and eased the tension. The biggest challenge, however, was meeting Peter, Alexander's 8-year-old son. The meeting was a success. Rebecca, with her authenticity and warmth, won the boy over instantly, speaking to him as an equal. Soon, the three of them became a unit. Dinners, trips to the park, building a family routine. "Why don't you live with us?" Peter asked, one night, with the simple logic of a child. That question led Alexander to ask his own. He didn't ask her to move into his penthouse, but for them to build a new home, together. A place that was theirs, not just his. It was the final proof that he saw her as an equal. On an ordinary evening, in their new home, surrounded by Peter and Rebecca's mother, Alexander knelt. With a simple but elegant ring, he proposed. "You taught me how to love again," he said, his eyes misty. "Will you be my wife?" "It's the most certain yes I've ever given in my life," she replied, through tears of happiness. The wedding was an intimate celebration of the love they had built. The story that began with a misunderstanding, with a social chasm that seemed insurmountable, proved that dignity, integrity, and true love can break any barrier. Rebecca didn't have to become someone else to fit into Alexander's world. Instead, together, they built a new world, a home where what truly mattered wasn't where you came from, but where you chose to go together. If this story moved you, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. What would you do in Rebecca's place? Would you accept an offer from someone who humiliated you? Let us know in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Thank you for being part of our community. Until the next video.